Do you want to help the environment, support your local community, and eat tasty food? If the answer is yes, then you probably want to know more about local food. Meet Jim Hooper. Jim owns a vegetable farm in Bournemouth that has been providing locally produced vegetables to the community since 1939. Jim thinks his local produce is better than the food we buy from supermarkets.
It's the future. Definitely well, that's what the people say they want. They want local. Well, we will see. We hope. We live in hope. The benefit is it's not mass produced. It's not industrially farmed. It's grown still. We still use a base of manure for the feed, and that will be in the taste.
Jim sells most of his produce directly to the public in home-delivered veg boxes. We joined him on a delivery to find out why his customers prefer local food.
But I do like it in season. Yeah. It reminds me of my childhood, you know, how it used to be as well, because we only had veg in season and that was it. We never had a tomato in the winter.
Our supermarket is nothing like this. It's not so fresh. I always like to pick out, you know, I can look at the stems underneath the cabbage and that. You can see that they're clean. You buy them at the supermarket and they're already turning brown there. You're lucky if you get anything fresh in there. It's much better and it's cheaper.
So Jim's customers think local produce tastes better than supermarket food. We decided to put this to the test. We're here in Lower Gardens in central Bournemouth to try and find out whether the people of Bournemouth can taste the difference between these supermarket bought carrots grown over 3,000 miles away or these locally produced carrots grown just 2 miles away and freshly picked today.
Well, that one's by far the better one. That's the fresher one.
That tastes like the carrots my grandmother used to grow when I was a little girl. She used to stick some seeds in the back garden. We didn't get an awful lot because she wasn't a gardener really, but what she did get. Definitely those are better.
Those are much better.
That was quite juicy. I didn't find that quite so juicy.
It's got more flavour. And it's a much denser texture. I think I prefer that one, even though it looks a funny colour.
So it would seem local food definitely tastes better. What about the other benefits?
Local food is beneficial on so many levels, and which makes it a really exciting area to work in. But I mean, economically, it helps develop an area because the more money people spend in local businesses which are using local products, the more that money gets cycled in the economy, and the more it supports jobs, and the more it supports businesses across the whole of the food supply chain. But it also, even in an urban area like this, really supports the environment that people are living in as well. And when you look at something like a community garden, which is still part of the local food sector, it makes those communities more vibrant, it creates community cohesion. But also, if you're buying products from a local producer, the chances are that that producer will be producing their food in a more environmentally sustainable way, whether that's organic or whether they're just minimising the use of fertilisers, pesticides. So it's all really positive for the community as well as the businesses within that community.
So it tastes better, it's good for the environment, and it supports the local community. There must be some drawbacks. Isn't it more expensive?
I think in some ways it's a misconception. I think sometimes when people think about local food, they tend to think about farmers' markets, and farmers' markets do tend to be about that kind of higher range product. But I think like any part of the food sector, local food, yeah, you can buy a high-end product, but there's also other products which are very reasonably priced. And one of the things that we try and do is promote that fact to people, because I think, like you say, that there is a misconception that people always think it's going to be expensive. But you can go along to, it doesn't have to be a farmer's market, you can go along to your local market, your local greengrocers, and most of the time they will have local products. And you'll find, now we've hit peak oil, now that there's all these climate change issues, as the cost of fuel increases, cost of storing products increases, that it will be the local products that become progressively relatively cheaper as well.
So there you have it. Local food tastes better, it's better for the environment, it's better for your community, and it won't cost you a penny more. So what are you waiting for? Make the change and switch to local food.